Hey guys, welcome back to the triangle. I can't even
Blah, blah,
talk
blah,
today.
blah.
Blah 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 blah. It's your girl CJ.
And it's your girl, Brandy. You didn't
Uh,
say anything crazy.
I know. What is this? What is
Well,
it?
I actually was trying to reserve my energy because I didn't want to tell you this, but
Huh? Uh-huh.
Dan and I are having a child.
I'm sorry, my brother Dan.
Yeah. So I didn't want to say anything too crazy because I don't want that crazy energy on my baby.
So wait.
So,
We just gonna put all that on blast on our podcast.
well, yeah, now we can have a countdown.
Oh
And
my
now because I
god.
got pregnant now, there's less chance that the baby will be born in
Should
October
I
because I'm
just
sick of
clip
that
this part and send it to Dan? Because I think he's gonna be
shit.
surprised. I'm just gonna be I'm probably gonna be like, "Hey, yo, is this true?" And he's gonna be like, "Where's this bitch at?" Like,
Right, right.
wait,
And I'm like, oh,
who
now
know
you don't
her?
know. Now I'm lying, Dan. Now I'm not pregnant. Oh, okay. You just gonna lie on the holidays. I
Oh
feel
my
it.
god, it's so terrible. And if you haven't noticed already, Demetrius is missing today.
Aww.
He's at work troubleshooting some grown-up stuff at his grown-up job.
Yeah, he's actually adulting, and it kind of pisses us off because I'm like, fuck that job. Get on
He's
the podcast.
he's in charge, and he's I'm not gonna say like where he works, but he's in hospitality and in charge of that. So I'm sure the holidays are gonna be a little rough for this guy. Like,
Probably
so
so.
it might be happening more than we wanted to. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. We try to record on his days off because of that, but this week he got called in like a grown up, so we're just gonna have to get over it, I guess.
Upsetting. I
It
know, right?
works.
I
It
should
works.
make a big deal out of it. I'm like, it's
I
done.
know.
Stop adulting.
But anyway, so today's episode is about Thanksgiving itself. It's actually dropping on Thanksgiving, so perfect. We're gonna talk a little bit about the history of Thanksgiving and maybe even how we celebrate it as our own selves and our families and stuff like that. I got a few things, and I know Brandy's got a whole bunch of fun facts for us to like
I
listen to and
do.
talk about. You want to start with one just to get
Yeah,
it
let's start with
rolling?
the fun stuff before we like ruin some people's shit.
Not ruin some people's shit.
Well, some people hold their holidays very near and dear to them, and I feel
They
like the
do.
only true holiday or holy day is your birthday. Like real talk, fuck everything else. That's how I mean. Like, no shade on Halloween because I know how we feel about Halloween,
Yes,
but
yes.
to the realist extent, it's like it's good to have the days off. It's good to. I like the festiveness of Christmas. I'm not a Christmas person,
Well,
but I
yeah,
like
because
the festiveness of it. I'm not a Thanksgiving girl, but I like the food. But I don't really care about this shit. I don't.
tell me
But
how you really
let's see
feel.
what right exactly. Could you do a favor and be more transparent, Brandon? I
Terrible.
found really cool fun facts.
Awesome.
I'll just go over the ones that stood out to me. Did you know, in my
Hmm.
best CJ voice, did
Uh-oh.
you know that that's as good as I can get it?
I hate you.
53% of people planning to celebrate Thanksgiving are dreading having to talk about politics.
Oh my gosh, seriously?
I did not know that a little over half of people that get together start to who does that? Who gets in a social setting, family or
Well,
not, and they start talking politics? That's weird to me.
I've been in those settings and like it is weird and I try not to participate because I'm a strong-minded woman and I have a lot to say and so
Well,
I
and
try
they don't want to hear us talk about lizard people and bullshit. They don't
uh, not lizard people.
the
I
way we
mean,
believe it.
even beyond that, because I guess if I have to say or pick, I'm not Democratic or I'm not Republican either. So,
Same.
like, and I'm not a liberal. I gotta make sure I say that. I'm definitely
Like,
far from
I
that.
feel like I'm here
I
and
just
I believe what I want to believe in, but you can't put the shit that I believe in a box.
Yeah, it's just because so many of the like the platforms and like the soapboxes that they stand on, none of them are 100% like what I believe in. There might be some from Republican Party, some from the Democratic Party, some even maybe from the Liberal, rarely, but it's like a mixture for me. Like
Mhm.
I don't even know if there's more on one side than the other. So when we do get into a conversation at a family gathering, it's not pretty, like because I have shit to say, and when I say it, obviously it's coming from my personal like
Oh, baby, we know when you got something to say,
experiences.
you're saying
so
it.
so what happens is even if it's like simple things about a new law or policy that involves like, I don't know, gentrification. Then I got like 2,000 paragraphs for that, coming from a POC point of view. And a lot of times that doesn't go over well during a gathering
Which is
because,
hard because, like you said, having a mix, I feel like some people are like that politically and religiously. And it's like you may, believe in some things in area here and apply it because it works.
yep,
Same way with politics, where depending on the subject, I'm conservative as fuck.
right.
And something else, you're not. So it's just interesting how that flows. But I didn't know that 53%.
That's a lot. That's a lot more than I
That's a
thought it would
lot
be.
more than what I thought. Also, let me get my CJ on. Did you know that 73% of US adults agree that a fridge full of leftovers is the best thing about hosting
What is
Thanksgiving?
it, 73%?
73%.
I agree. Listen, nigga, listen. My biggest thing, and maybe that 73% is like moms mostly, because I don't
Yeah.
have to cook for like 2, 3 days after that.
Mm-hmm.
Worth me just sitting on my ass. And I'm like, oh, you hungry? There's like turkey meat. You can go ahead and take and make your
Listen.
sandwich in there. You ain't got to eat it with the gravy and the stuffing. Get you a sandwich. Make you a salad. Throw that shit on there. You want some soup? Throw it in some soup. Like
Something.
I'm gonna make some turkey curry after we're done. Like that's
Oh,
what
you're
I'll be
not
doing.
playing about mixing those
Oh
stuff over.
yes, leftovers are serious stuff. And like that 7 pounds of cranberry sauce that I had.
I fucking can't with you in that shit.
You know what I do with that though? I make baked goods and I make like yogurt parfaits with it. So good. So
Yeah.
good.
I'm still gonna pass. I'm not with it at all.
But I totally understand the 73%. Like that's half the reason why I like making the extra. I make extra food on purpose. Like I'm gonna make some mac and cheese tomorrow. I'm making 3 pans and one of them is staying with me, like in the house, just for
Interesting.
us. Yes.
And then just like a few more things. I did not know October 3rd, a very important day.
Oh, yeah.
My birthday,
Uh-huh.
for those that don't know. October 3rd, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed Thanksgiving a national holiday. I didn't know that was
Yeah.
on October
So, but
3rd.
here's the thing that they leave out.
Oh, yes. Come
You
on, fun facts.
did you
Come on,
know?
CJ. Yes. Did you know?
I'm done. Did you know that even though Abraham Lincoln gets all the credit for doing this, it was a woman who petitioned for it to become a national holiday so
Why is
that
that not surprising?
it is. It was a woman. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but it was a woman who petitioned for it to become a national holiday because she thought that it would bring the country together. It was not Abraham Lincoln. Technically, he only passed it. He didn't come up with it. It was a woman who came up
Well,
with it.
if a white man doesn't do it, then
Hey, that's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Just saying. Sorry, white men who are listening.
Sorry, not sorry.
Thanksgiving is the second favorite holiday among Americans.
Really?
Number one's fucking Christmas.
Okay, but Thanksgiving's number 2?
Then look, girl, the little thing show, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see the list. They got my little pumpkin at 3 because Halloween is 3rd. I definitely would have went Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving. All you're fucking doing is eating. I don't understand the lore of it being second of all the holidays.
Mine is Halloween, Christmas, New Year's.
Yeah, how did New Year's not even make the list?
I don't know. I love New Year's. I love it. Like hanging out with friends and family.
I think I didn't get into New Year's until like we were overseas and seeing how they celebrated it.
I think, oh, you know what? That's what it is.
It's hype because I'm like, if this is New Year's over here, this is how y'all get down. This is dope.
Because in Asian countries, New Year's is bigger than Christmas, and maybe that's how I feel.
No
Listen, so on like during New Year's, like the kids in most Asian countries, they get money from the grown-ups, and that was my favorite. Okay. So until I was a grown-up, New Year's was number 1 on my list because I cleaned up. Like when it's your year to graduate from high school, people are sending you $50 to $100 in these envelopes, and you go and get it from like 20, 30 relatives. You clean up. Yes.
You're doing this shit wrong. People going broke trying to visit family for the holidays and stuff.
Girl. And my mom sometimes she's still for New Year's, she buys the little envelopes and give it to my kiddos, like with money in it for New Year's here. Aww. It's so cute. It's so cute. But see, I'm on the giving end now, so I'm not so much into it anymore.
Yeah, that's what happens when you start really adulting. It's fucking lame.
Everyone.
So lame.
So
But yeah, those
terrible.
were just like some fun facts about it before we get into like real shit, which we'll
Yes.
also post some facts on
Yes.
our pages.
Yes.
So anything you don't hear here, you'll be able to read later.
Yeah.
So make
Yeah.
sure you check out our IG, our Facebook, just be all up in the mix. We promise to be better
Yes.
posters.
We do okay. We just need a little more consistency. We'll do better. We'll do better.
Not
2020.
that any of you guys have complained. You've been fucking great. I'm thankful for our listeners. We need to come up. If you're making it to this part of it, which most of you do, because we have some pretty legit listeners.
Yes. Yes,
You'll
we
listen
do.
to all of our rambling, so I'm thankful for that. Whoever comes up with a name for y'all, that's what we'll call. You know how Beyonce got the Beehive and they got all this shit. We need some name for the people that listen to us.
I agree. That's a great
idea. We don't have a name.
Oh, what would it be though? It's so hard.
I have no clue. So we'll save that for like our fan episode. Maybe we'll put that out there and we'll let people, like
let's make it a fan pick name and then do it on our 1,000th follower. Like,
and they can pick the name.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
I think
totally with it.
Unless it's like crazy. I don't want no like curse word in it that I can't like post.
We're not doing it. But if it's cute, we'll go with it.
Or we can do a giveaway on our 1,000th follower. If we can get to 1,000. We're almost there on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna get to some fucked up shit.
Uh-oh. What you want to start with? Who you want to start with?
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna start with saying how we start to celebrate Thanksgiving, and this really started last year. We'll still cook, and we'll still get together and eat. But how I'm passing the information down to my son is not the same Indian pilgrim kumbaya fest that I was taught. Not to completely butcher the teachers that taught us this, because they're only teaching what they're told to teach.
Well, they have a curriculum, so yeah.
And you're not to go outside of that.
Right.
But I'm just now starting to teach my son, when you're reading and hearing these stories, you got to understand the context, the time frame it was written, who it benefits as far as who wrote it, and that's in anything. And then come up with your own conclusion from there. So I like that I'm having these conversations with him starting last year, because even for Black History Month, he started to be like, man, we only hear about these two things and then that's it. Or they barely went over anything. So again, I'm still thankful for the day I've worked, but I'm not gonna tell my son that pilgrims came over and we were all good.
We really weren't.
Everything was gravy, literally. Like, nah, nigga, that's not what happened.
No.
We came over here fucking shit up. And then I think you and I were talking about this. I don't know if it was on the podcast or not. They were talking about the different tribes that were here and how they handle things socially versus how Europeans come over and handle things.
Right.
So if you're thinking that somebody's way of communicating, or better yet, not communicating with you, means that they're more submissive, you got the game fucked up.
Right.
You're taking it that it's okay that you're invading space. It's okay that maybe you are, even when they're settling. And I think about how much destruction has to happen when you're settling.
Right.
Coming on somebody else's land, disturbing things. And if you read up on anything, this is for the listeners, not CJ, because she knows everything.
Shut up.
On anything about Native Americans, they are not playing about their land, nature. Everything is connected.
Absolutely.
So for you to come over and be disrespectful in that way, and then have no remorse about it, and then spin the tale hundreds of years later as if this is a peaceful thing, and it's not. That's what we're going to get into on this shorter than normal podcast, because it's interesting when you actually do the research, what really happened, why it happened, and then why we still push that narrative now.
Right.
It's not okay. Even when I think about us dressing up and having feathers in our hair in the shape of construction paper.
Right.
And doing the little things like that. It didn't bother me as a child naturally. Now I would be offended by that. And not, because this is a culture of being offended by everything.
You know what though? They changed the song too because of that.
Girl.
The little 1, little 2, little 3. It's no longer Indians. They don't do that anymore.
We don't have a Cleveland Indians no more. Well, not in the sense of like the mascot. They changed Chief Wahoo out, which I'm not mad at. Like, why would people be so upset when you have people here that are like, this is not a costume. This is not a game to me. You know what I mean?
It's
like
literally, I don't
it's
think people. You know what's crazy when you were talking about PJs like textbooks and stuff. What's crazy is we have more knowledge and information than ever about this stuff, but they refuse to update the textbooks. They reprint them every 5 to 10 years. They reprint them, but with the same fucking information. Nothing is updated. Like, it wasn't until I got to college level history that I learned what I learned, and then I was like,
Girl,
"What happened? Wait,
college
hold
level
up."
history will have you pissed off.
I was mad as hell. I was like, "You mean to tell me?" I've been like, "Ooh, I want to be a like that's what we were talking about earlier. Ooh, I want to be a pilgrim today." When I'm
Girl.
like in the second grade, made my mom give me my little plaid skirt with the white blouse, so I knew that the teacher would make me a pilgrim. Like, how fucked up is that? And my ass is brown, and I'm fucking part Apache. Like, I can't.
And that goes into like not so much resentment, but
It's
I don't know
not
what to call
resentment. It's
it.
just it's a little bit of anger, though. I will not lie.
But
Because
yeah, well, it's a lot of anger because one, I'm a Black woman, so always angry, right? I just hold this anger in. No, but I think that's why I can't even think of another way to say it. You're right. College level history fucked me up because before I had to really read about stuff, I didn't. And when you do have all these tools for the internet, we're looking up cat memes and other bullshit. We're not really using. They're banking on us being more distracted than we are educated.
Oh, absolutely.
So they know the game, right? So when I'm forced to, because I need to get this grade because you're paying for shit. I'm like, man, I can't look at monuments the same. I can't look at these national holidays the same. I don't have the same reverence that I used to have for a lot of things deemed American and in the right way to do things or view things. Even when they're like doing the Pledge of Allegiance and other shit, I'm like, this don't set right with me no more.
Yeah.
And it used to, but it does not anymore now that I know. I dare to say maybe like 98%. I'm saying 98% because I'm thinking about when was all the civil rights stuff about 1960?
Yeah, 50s to 60s.
Yep. 50s to 60s. So up putting about that point, nothing was really being pushed for us. Not at the level that it needed to be. So we're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years since the good old settlers came over, or the colonizers, as Black Panther. And I'm thinking everything you sang for the country, every war you're fighting for this country, every law you're making for this country is to benefit white men first, and then it ticks down a tier from there.
Yeah.
But then for the whole amount of time, for the longest time, we're deemed as property or animals, not human beings.
Oh, I mean,
so what do I look like? You know what I mean? I can't have that same reference anymore.
That's why I have such an issue with a lot, especially like not to the people who don't do this, but to a particular group of white older women who have the audacity to come up to me and try to touch my hair, my earrings, my rings, whatever is on my fucking body or myself. Like, it feels like to me the same way you go up to somebody's like dog to pet them and be like, oh, so cute, and I cannot fucking handle it.
I told my son that because I know he go to school with like 80% of white kids. I say, your hair, because I know he likes wearing his hair out, and I'm like, you're not. It's not a petting zoo. Not animal. I don't want nobody touching your hair. Like, there's love.
When I do shit like this with my little double bun, my Minnie Mouse buns, people are like, oh.
Look, by the way, this weekend you'll see it on the gram.
You what?
I'm gonna bite that look.
Oh, okay.
At the bar, we're
that's
doing
fine.
That's,
I mean, the spaceman thing is around. I just like doing it because it's easy but cute.
Because I'm gonna make myself a deer.
And also, it gets me carded when I go buy wine. I look younger.
Stop! Not the pigtails make you look younger.
I got carded 2 days ago, grocery shopping. I was like, excuse me. That boy took my card, looked at it twice, looked at me, and then scanned it and gave it back to me.
Like, what?
Yes, I'm probably your mama's age. Thank you. Give me my card.
For those listening. But if you ain't never seen CJ, she got that good skin.
Stop. I'm done. But no, for real though, like, here's the thing though, like, people don't realize how much of an impact this has on the kids growing up, because they start to believe. Let me tell it to you this way. This is how crazy like the colonization situation is, and like the whitewashing is. So in America, when you learn the date, the year that Columbus supposedly discovered America, yes, quote unquote,
We're
is
doing quotations.
1492. And the phrase that they use is 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue, right? To help you remember it. In Japan, the way they teach and remember this is Iyoku ni moeru Columbus. So the 1492 is Iyoku, and they help you remember the date like that. So they're doing the same thing, which means this whitewashing, the colonizing all over the world is the same frequency. It doesn't matter where you're from. And that's why it freaks me out a little bit to know that.
It's very frightening because it also plays into what people feel like their role of importance is in history and how important you are right now.
Oh, yeah.
And then whether people want to admit or not, that affects people's lives and what they decide they can do, what they think they can do. Mm-hmm. And when it's been pushed to you through media, through history books, like you're the great white savior, you guys come in and you make everything better. Right. No, you guys come in and wipe out whole fucking colonies of people. Even with what was it? Was it the Mayans or who did Spain came over?
Oh yeah, the Spaniards came over and they
wiped them motherfuckers.
Well, because they didn't have immunity for the shit that they had. Because so here's the thing though, it's really amazing to me how like all these colonizers came and was like, you guys are savages, but whoa nigga, you don't want taking one bath every 3 weeks. Like
nah, you're the one. No, I would definitely bank the person that's coming through with guns and everything else ready to take us out, say this or else. You're the savages, because if I have to take a bullet in the face, if I don't bow down to Queen so-and-so,
you know what I'm saying?
Come under being a Catholic or something, that's fucking
people you've never met before. Like you want me to follow who is this? Like who's painting? I don't know this bitch. Right. Who is this man? I don't know this man.
Who is this man?
King? What king? We got some chiefs. I don't know.
Right. It's really fucked up. Like, but what seems to be the move right now, and I know it's not with everybody, but it's a resurgence of having this pride and this curiosity and this hunger to go back to your own roots, to trace shit back and be like, all right, what's really the truth on this? And I can appreciate that going, and I hope it keeps going. And I hope anybody listening, whether you're doing it or not, start doing it. Especially if you're of color. Don't teach your kids the same shit that we're learning in school, because so much of this stuff is wrong.
They absolutely,
it's not right, and it's only benefiting white people, white men.
Yeah.
And if you're not raising a white man, change the narrative. Shout out to Omarion. Change the narrative.
No, Omarion.
I love that shit. Change the narrative.
Leave them niggas behind.
You do. Like when I started telling PJ, this is what was going on, and showing him pictures, beautiful pictures of these Native American tribes and what they all believed in, separately together. Because I know they try to make it seem like, they were killing each other and they were doing it the same way they did with Africans. Like, well, y'all are killing each other the same way they do now. Well, black on black crime. No, you're not going to make people of color wrong or savages or demonizing us for doing the same shit y'all do. Because with y'all, it's a French Revolution.
Well, it was a crusade for Christianity here and there,
it's all this stuff. It's this great shit, and with us, it's not that. And it takes you guys coming in to give order and structure. No, you're giving your order and your structure. And I'm like, and the fact that that's what America was built on, you wiped out all these and then kept going, because when they were talking about the wars that were happening with Mexico.
No, they just kept pushing through.
I'm like, damn. Like, y'all kept it going all the way to the West Coast. And I'm like, how dare you guys not teach it for what it really is?
They won't, because here's the thing. Like, even they're like, but CJ and Brandy, they're starting to. They're talking about Maya Angelou in school. Okay, but did they talk about real Miss Maya? Did they really go back where they tell her or the kids that she used to be a prostitute and a single mother who was trying to make a living? Do they go that far back? Like, most people don't even know that about Maya Angelou. Some Black people don't know that about Maya
I don't
Angelou.
think they would even go that deep, because
that's what I'm saying.
Like on a totem pole, Black women to people that are pushing those different agendas are like at the bottom. So there's no need to tell our full stories. Other people can have their full story told.
Right. And then
but not us.
But and here's my thing, and when they do talk about Black men in history books in our culture now, they would take a whole chapter on Martin Luther King, but they won't do Malcolm X because he was too abrasive.
Baby,
Too
CJ, you
abrasive.
better sell that shit. I got some books on my shelf right now. Malcolm, Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, if I'm saying her name right. Yep. Who actually has like a monument and shit here in Ohio. Yes. Her anti-woman speech was here. Bitch, how else was I gonna know that unless I looked it up? Because wasn't nobody gonna teach me that shit.
Nobody was gonna tell us any of this.
They weren't. Marcus Garvey.
Got him that's an important one too.
Big one. I think I may or may not have something that's like on the Selassie's, like Haile Selassie and some stuff. But anyway, I just want him to have that full scope of Blackness to deepen, like
it's
dig
so
into,
important,
and then kind of pick and choose from there what's going to be your narrative for your life. But I'm like, when you don't have that as an option, all you're going to do is follow the same whitewash shit. You're following that same stuff that they give you to say, hey, this is the Black that you can be and subscribe to,
right?
And be accepted, or climb a ladder in whatever field you're in. And it's like, no, change the narrative. Like, you can be what you want to be when I give you these books, when I give you what I'm learning, because they're not going to do it in school, just like they don't want us to know.
That's so like important because like I think I talked about it a little bit on the other episode, maybe one of our first like few, but I still remember like because like my dad would have been like y'all's grandparents' age because he would have been 89 or so now, or 88 or something. But I still remember him not wanting me to be super Black-ish, if that's even a word. Because when I asked for like box braids and stuff, because my hair was so hard to manage, because my hair is a 3C, like it's curly as fuck. And he was like, no, that's too Black. And from what he grew up and what he learned and what he understood, being too Black means you wouldn't get a good job. You wouldn't get, you know what I mean? Like it just stuff like that. So I think it's really important, like what you're doing and what we're doing in our generation, to break that fucking cycle and let our kids know that it's okay to be yourself and not have to hide behind this like colorized situation that's going on right now.
And we have to build them. Yeah, we have to make them so strong, because I'm like, it's real easy to be strong and be yourself when you're in the comfort of a loving, understanding, ever-evolving environment, like I'm trying to give him here.
Right.
But the hard part is, and what I'm teaching him is like, hey, I need you to handle yourself as if like I'm not here, because one day I won't be.
Right.
So you can't have me be your everything, your source of your history, your spiritual strength, your emotional healing, all that shit. I'm not. At the end of the day, I'm still a person. I'm your mom, but I'm trying to figure shit out too. So I need you to be good. And how can I do that? Over educate the fuck out of you when it comes to stuff across the board. And it does start even as small as something with history, and accurately portraying history for who you're raising is extremely important. Because again, we can't stress this enough this episode. I mean, they're going to tell the story that they want to tell, and it's going to be a white wash.
Even with the indigenous people now, there's a lot of confusion because there is like, so from what I understand, this is my own research and my own study, but and you guys can look it up too. From what I understand, or becoming to understand, is that Black people are not just from Africa. They were already all over the lands, like all lands, right? So a lot of the indigenous people who were already here got recategorized as Negro. And the other people who got categorized as indigenous wasn't exactly all native and from here. And it's been so many generations that people lost count of where they came from. And that's why there's such a different structure in their system from original to now. Like, it's so crazy. And to top it off, with the Thanksgiving thing, people are always confused about like why all the like slaughtering happened and stuff. So like 100 years before Columbus even came out here, there was a group of Europeans already trading here in the US with Indians. So I don't know if you guys remember Squanto, the native. Yo, did you? Yeah. So okay. So he spoke English, basically. Like, he was the translator, and he spoke English because there were already white folks from Europe trading with Indians here. You know what I mean? And before Thanksgiving happened, like the first Thanksgiving was actually like amicable. It wasn't because something crazy happened. It was literally because one of the first colonies that were here actually got the help that they did get from the Indians, and they had a great harvest, and they were like celebrating. I mean, they didn't eat turkey or anything like that. They actually brought in deer and shit like that to eat with
and I heard they
everybody.
were like big on God, I'd read somewhere it was like oysters and some
Yeah,
clams.
seafood, because they were on the coast.
Yeah,
So
right on the
yeah,
coast.
they were on the coast, so they had seafood and fish and deer from the
No,
forest
a
and the
side note, can
mountains.
we get back to that? Like, damn.
I would.
We have some
Shit.
mussels, some,
Some
you know what I mean?
sushi shit.
Ah,
But
that's what
like,
they
so
give.
when they were going through all this, and Squanto was going back and forth because he was trying to overthrow his own chief, right? Because he was from a whole nother tribe. Um, Columbus started arriving, and the rest of the Europeans were like, oh, we got to go help him, because wherever Columbus landed, he was causing ruckus, right? And that's where the war started. It wasn't till he arrived that all this shit started happening. Until then, it was pretty peaceful. Like, it was a regular trading like area. It was like a place that people could come and trade furs for gold and jewels and things like that. It wasn't until Columbus showed up that shit went down, and then
Went
all
left.
these indigenous people got slaughtered.
And
Like,
this guy that I don't know what his name is, I'll give it a shout out after I scroll up because
okay.
I went to this website. It's called www.crack.com.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna post some of his shit on our page because it's hilarious how he writes shit out.
Oh
And
Lord.
his captions on memes. Like he would be our type of person, or she, because I'm assuming it's a guy because I'm brainwashed. But
Yep.
right, I have to catch that shit sometime. Real talk, you automatically think, man. But anyway, he had wrote right after everything you just said that we've been discussing. He wrote what happened, and he just titled it "Guns, Germs, and Steel." Native Americans got it worse than any. He's like, Native Americans got it worse than anybody in this country's history. And despite being the mascot for how great everyone was getting along back then, Squanto was one of the best examples. Kidnapped by Englishmen, purchased by Spanish pharaohs, and somehow able to talk his way back home.
Yep.
The guy had every right to hate England. And he said when his buddy introduced him to the Penguins at the end of a mean winter, Squanto could have left them to suffer from freezing, starvation, and Englishness. Because apparently you're going to suffer for that.
Yep.
Instead of generalizing, he taught them farming and hunting methods while negotiating a little farm aid from the tribe. If there was anything to be thankful for in 1621, it was him.
Yep.
He corrected the pilgrims' method of working the earth at high speed to the sound of yakky-sack. He's fucking stupid. And he's like, basically just like really breaking this shit down in a funny way, because I enjoy his sense of humor.
That's a great way to do history too. People get
it
tired
is.
of history.
It's always, if you can add humor in there and make it funny, and he has memes throughout here, I'm like, this is what I would probably try to teach my kid in this way. So not only are you engaged, but it's funny, but you're actually learning stuff. Because even when I was reading it at work instead of working, because I was like, damn. And then like talking about how people were dead within a year from smallpox. Because baby, one thing folks was not doing back then was living through a lot of shit.
Right.
And that was a wrap on that ass.
Yep.
I think that also plays into, although this is like a completely different conversation, people keep forgetting, especially the fucked up sickos that try to make it normal that you're however old and you want a bride that's however young. Different ball game if motherfuckers' life expectancy was 25.
Right. So that's not the same thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a completely different ball game.
Yep, agreed.
Life expectancy, and you're trying to keep the family legacy going. We got to get married at 13, 14. We have this small window
like
of
full
time.
Term adulthood was 25, 30.
Girl.
So
grandma and grandpa was 32. Like we gotta get this going. It's not that way anymore. So I'm not here for the people that do that. That's a different conversation. Just putting that out there.
But for real though, they really fucked us up with that story and the history that they gave us, because what we got taught was literally Columbus sailed off to the US, found us, and like provided all this great thing. They had a very good brunch, lunch, whatever you want to call it, with the indigenous people.
You know what's something too? I never asked questions. It was just like, okay, that makes sense. Somebody's already here. And we came and discovered it.
Took over.
And then I never asked questions in the sense of, well, how did they communicate? If I speak this and you speak that, were we drawing pictures? How'd that go?
Yeah, nobody asked that, right?
Nobody.
I got curious because I was like, how did they survive? How did they like? So that's when I figured out that they have been trading for a century beforehand, and so there were indigenous people who spoke English. I was like, this is fucking shit that they don't tell us. What?
You know something else I thought about, and this may sound like I may say it very stupid because it's late here, and I'm like,
go ahead, just say it.
But I'm like, how the fuck were we fighting like they make a big deal about the red coats and all the rest of this shit. I only got into that because I'm watching Outlander. So that show will take you down a rabbit hole of history, which is cool. It's a great show. Stars. The books I hear are way better, but the show's good too. Anyway, I'm thinking, wait a second. If there were Indians here, Mexicans here, right? And then we came over, but then we start beefing with where we just left. I'm like, are we all fucking, not us, but I'm like, aren't y'all all fucking English? Aren't y'all all that same goddamn people?
So the word pilgrims is also incorrect. Technically, it's Puritans.
Come on, CJ.
So
that sounds better anyway. I like it because it sounds more witchy.
It is. It's so the Puritans came for a branch of Christianity. They were technically, back in the day before they came out here, they were called separatists.
Wait a minute. So they were first, and then was it Quakers, and then the rest of the folks?
Separatists. I think it was separatists, Puritans, and Quakers around the same-ish time.
Around the same time. Okay, I was going to say the words are running together because you're right, all around the same time.
Yeah, so, but the separatists and Puritans are the same people. They just called them different things in different locations. So they were called separatists in Europe because they were separating from the church of the kingdom. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason why they were called that. But the reason they came out here was to, like, they were basically refugees running from religious fucking, like, you know, like power from the other side. But then they did the same shit.
Exactly. That's what I don't. Again, learning your history will fuck you up.
Yeah.
What did I say? The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. That's what Virgil said. Literally, that is what I've been going through the last 2 years, finding out shit.
Yeah.
I remember like first taking, like going back to school and going to Liberty University, getting back into history classes. And I remember calling my ex like all the time. He enjoyed anything history. And I'd call him or text him because as soon as I found something new, I'd be pissed all over again. I'd be going off back and forth on assignments and message boards like Andrew Jackson was a dick. And this is like, I am going off because I'm like, this is fucking crazy.
I mean, it is,
like,
right?
The levels of the shit that they were getting away with. I'm like, nobody saw an issue with this. And then it seemed like the issue would only come up if enough people rose up and said, nah, or if it was somehow, some way fucking with the money. If it's supposed to fuck with the money, then not only do we need to change it, but politically, it'll be a good look for us to change it and make it seem like we're really backing this group of people.
Oh, absolutely.
Nah, nigga, this is all, you know what I mean?
It's like, all for a charade.
It's a ruse.
I'm serious because, like, I mean, I was already into stuff like this before I even got to college. But then when I got to college and started taking some of these deeper classes, like I took world religions for a while. And that's why I'm so amped up on that shit, because I'm like, everything is the same. Almost everything comes from the same place. But we have 4,200 religions. What the fuck is that about? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so you're not going to sit here and tell me that one religion is right. Like, there's no way. I refuse to believe that the other 4,199 religion practitioners all go to hell or some shit like that.
And
like,
you know what? You may very well join them, and I'll be looking down on you.
I'll see you there. I'll see you there. Watch it be like Buddhism. That's correct, right? We all.
I know. Me and a homegirl that I used to talk to, we used to be like, "What if you just like say I cool to a couple just in case?" Just that way, like trying to cover your back, because that's how she was kind of pushing Christianity. She's like, "Look, maybe you don't live it all the way. Just go ahead and get baptized and do this or whatever, and then just in case, worst case scenario, you're wrong, and then it's like, fuck, if only I had an A, B, and C or whatever." And I was just dying at that because I was like, "Can you imagine dying?"
That's so crazy.
It's like, all along, Satan was the good guy. We're screwed.
Oh no!
Oh my God, like we were talking about with South Park, is the Satan from South Park.
He was just trying to tell people. He was just trying to... That's so terrible.
We're
No,
so
for real though.
stupid.
Like, are you baptized? I'm not.
Am I?
I'm not. You are?
Am I?
I don't know. I feel like you might be.
You see the baptismal glow?
I don't know what that is. That's weird.
I don't know. No, you know, it's funny. I did not get baptized until I felt like it, really.
That's what my dad wants me to do.
My parents didn't like, they weren't big on religion like we talked about in that episode. Like they believed in shit. And my dad grew up primarily Catholic on that side, but I couldn't tell. That was not how they raised us. So it wasn't until I started going to more churches and they were like, hey, they were kind of giving me like the government of how certain religions or how their church was ran. Because we know Pentecostal is different from Southern Baptist, baby, from this. So there's like an order. So they're like, hey, you do this, you do that, you get baptized. So I'm like, okay. I never really asked a lot of questions. I'm like, I guess what you do, like dunk me in some water or sprinkle water on my forehead because I ain't getting this wig wet.
I'm done. I'm
like,
so done.
Like, I get it, but then I'm also like, I don't think that if I wasn't baptized in the way that you were saying, God was going to be like, I'm good on you.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's just me. Yeah, that's just me.
I agree.
I thought differently at 18, but I shouldn't be the same person I was at 18. Nobody should be.
No, hopefully not.
They were then. So my mindset is different on all that stuff, just like it is on.
I just don't believe that that's something that has to be done. And that's just my opinion because I haven't been baptized and I refuse to believe that
you haven't been baptized.
Yeah. So, but to me, without me being baptized, I still think that God is out here watching my back because of all the things that I've ever been through and all the things that I'm blessed with. Like, you're not going to tell me that's part of the deal. Like, I just don't.
And then I
don't
think
believe it.
even you being able to give the credit to something higher than yourself.
Oh yeah.
Although I am a big fan of like the God in me sort of thing, and the creator created me to create. And if he's the I am and he made me, then I am blah blah too.
Yeah.
You know, I believe in all that stuff, but I kind of feel like, not to get too religion-y on it, but I feel like people are fucking twisting all that shit too.
They really are.
It's almost to the point where I get why people don't want to talk about politics as much as they don't want to talk about religion.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't want to talk about that shit either, because I don't feel like anybody's listening. They just want to like force you.
They do.
Believe in what they want you to believe. So it's like, you're not going to force me to be a Republican or a Democrat or a Catholic or whatever the fuck ever. Like, you can't.
Because those two topics are typically taboo in the service industry. Like if you work retail, any kind of customer service industry, like your bosses, if they know what they're talking about, will tell you from the get-go, do not engage with your customers about religion and politics. And like, because it's just a no-no, because
they don't want to like, it's almost like people listen to try to fix somebody. Like, let me listen to you. You're wrong. Let's fix this.
Let me tell you about when I walked into one of these bakery tool places where I go to, and I haven't been back since because I feel some type of way because the owner there was talking to his employees about the shooting that happened in Dallas, because that's where I'm at, and with the cop, the lady with the Botham guy. And he was like, well, this, and that. It sure is like weird that she has to get the sentence. Like she was saying that she was, she thought she was in her house and she was just doing like, self-protection. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, you've got to be kidding me. And the girls, because it's their boss, even though they were clearly brown, were like, yeah, because you can't disagree with your boss because situation. I know we're not talking about you or me right now. We're talking about normal people.
Now we're talking about normal people. What's that supposed to mean?
But I kept looking at them, and I was like, they were having this full-on discussion about police brutality, knowing damn well half the customers in that place was Black. And me and this other Black lady just looked at each other, and then we looked back over at the cash wrap because I was like, do they know we can hear them?
And then what makes those moments also great is when you're like, you probably know you can hear me, but you don't care.
You don't give a fuck
about me.
I put all my stuff down and walked out, girl. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. And I'm mad as hell because it's close to me and I like buying shit when I need it. But I was like, I really needed that cookie cutter, but you're not about to get my money. Like I can't. And I really do choose to spend my money where I talk and where my mouth is, because like my friends are like, oh yeah, H&M had all this stuff. I don't shop there.
I haven't been back there either.
Since all that shenanigan. I unfollowed a whole bunch of luxury brands.
Unless I see something like maybe a 10-year, it would take me like a 10-year span that you changed like your board of directors and all that, like the hierarchy. You really went in there and was like, all right.
Or you
people of color, women,
marketing situation to be
all that
inclusive.
Stuff would have to change for a while, not just
not like a month.
Not like, okay, we're shutting down all the Starbucks for 30 minutes so we can say,
girl, that shit.
Girl, that's some bullshit. I'm like, no, but funny enough, I do the same thing with PJ at the cons we go to, the different Comic Cons.
Mm-hmm.
I will watch him, because it went from him kind of being right at my hip, because I don't play about my son, him being right at my hip when we're walking around, to now that he's older and bigger, I'll stand behind him, but I'll let him walk off and I'll watch him. And I'm like, if these motherfuckers don't, it's really hard, girl. It's so hard. I know it's hard for your controlling ass. You'd probably be dying. But I'm like, they don't get your money.
Yeah.
If one, of course, you don't like the product, but two, if they don't acknowledge you, if there's not eye contact, if their shit and sit on the counter while you put shit in their hand, I don't play that game. I give it to you in your hand, you give it to me in your hand. I've looked at stuff on the counter, like, who's gonna pick that up? Because I didn't give it to you like that, so you ain't gonna give it to me like that. I don't play that. You're not gonna act like you got a problem putting stuff in my hand, or like you can't touch the same area. I'm not playing those games. So I've taught my son the same thing, and it's not to be difficult. It's a sense of pride. You are is just important. You're just as important. They're not better than you, whether they're adults and you're a kid, or whether you're Black and they're this or whatever. Like, I don't play that. And of course, I'm very into now teaching him to invest in his own. So the first thing he'll do is go to the little pop-ups at the Comic-Cons that are Black owned, or when he sees somebody that looks like him, he'll hear their conversations about their original art. Right. He'll spend their money. That's how we got close to a family. Shout out to Leah Huddleston. I know she's listening.
Hey.
She listens to all that stuff.
Hey.
But that's how we get close to them. So we're about that life. But
I think it's important.
That stuff wouldn't have happened, and it wouldn't have been that important to him had I not really tried to be more in my history.
It's important.
And seeing how important that is, and then also seeing how fucked up my mindset is on a lot of stuff because of what I was taught. Girl,
I'm with you. I mean, listen, like we're trailing off a little bit, but like it's kind of inclusive.
Hold on, we're what a little bit?
We're off task. Off task.
We're always off task, to be fair.
But I mean, it's still part of it. So like, even when I go to like hair stores, or even the Daisos over here, because Daiso is the Japanese company, right? And the hair stores for the Black girls. So why do both places have skin lightening cream? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. I just want to
skin lightening cream aside, because I'm not, and I don't want anybody to take offense to this, that is of color, male or female, that wears different weaves, wigs, and whatever, because I'm team weave, wig, or whatever.
Big.
But it does piss me off that most of those aren't even owned by us, and that is is it $1 billion industry now?
Oh, girl, you better like fashion inclusive. I think beauty and fashion is more than billions right now. Just fashion alone is $328 billion industry.
Okay, well then all that together has to be trillions. So
it's got to be a trillion.
And then when you think about, because you and I talked about it too, who has their pulse on what's hot, what's trendy, what's going to be the look, is Black people. It's Black girls. And I feel like a lot of that creativity comes from the fact, as we trail off even further, that when you don't have access to a lot, when you got to get creative with what you have, that's where the magic happens.
That's what it is.
That's even why we're some of the best fucking cooks, because y'all gave us the scraps. Y'all gave us the.
That's what it is. That people always making fun of, like eating greens and chitlins and stuff. Do you know why we ate those?
Come on,
because that is because the masters back in the day gave us all the shit that they didn't want, and we figured out how to make it delicious, bitches. That's why we eat that shit.
And now look what you're having for Thanksgiving.
Oh, and was it you and I that were talking? I can't remember. We were talking about neck bones and how cheap they were back in the day. So all of a sudden it's a delicacy. I can't buy my neck bones for $12 no more. I gotta spend $12.
Delicacy and boxer braids. You know what I mean? You know how they do it.
But like going back to like the whole Black-owned, Asian-owned companies for like black beauty stores. So they just opened one. I haven't been yet. They just had a grand opening for a Black-owned beauty company. And let me just say this, because me and my friend had a conversation about this, and I think a lot of people agree. When you go to these Black hair places that sell Black beauty products owned by these Asian companies and stuff and whatever, that's not us, or even white companies, they do not set up their stores like Ulta or Sephora or anything like that. They have us digging in fucking bins for hair. Most of those places are not set up nice. They do not give a fuck about us. They just about the money.
And in most of those places too, you so right. Most of those places are set up like how liquor stores and drug stores are set up.
Yes.
In the hood. Because I can never find and we even call them jokingly, we're always talking about the hair store. Now, sometimes they have different names and shit like that, but everybody knows of color. When you say we're the hair store,
yes,
you know what we mean. We ain't talking about Sally's.
No, when people are like, ooh, Sally's no.
used to sell bomb tracks, by the way, but that was like a long time ago, like 2005, 6. They used to have some Black girl shit in there. They don't do that no more. Anyway, when you talking about going to the hair store, I got to go on the east side. I can't be out where I really stay. Because it's too white and they're not gonna have it. And what's crazy is I'm like, there's people of color out here. It's not like there's not like a market for it, but I feel like you said, you do that shit on purpose. Everything's always cramped. There's shit all over the place. They don't give a fuck.
So like when I was looking through the website on this new Black-owned company that's here, I really need to look it up because they really look great. They made sure to put in there, because I'm guessing this is not just like me and my friends talking, because they were like, everything is set up on the shelf. There is nothing on the floor. Because how many hair places do you go to where it's just a floor of bins or floor of just shit on the ground? They want us on the ground looking for stuff to put in our hair, to crown ourselves with.
Look, and this is why I have not been in one in forever.
I'm telling you.
I'll primarily do like website stuff, or I'll see reviews online, because shopping online has made it so much easier to see who's really Black owned.
Oh yeah, for sure, because you can like look it up.
Like I do a lot of research, CJ style, before I buy any of the beauty products, because I'm serious about, pouring back into the community.
Yep.
It's important to feel empowered. It's important for us to feel important, because like we've been talking about this whole time, historically, it's not going to make us feel important until we're really digging back to when we were kings and queens. And for those of us that even weren't kings and queens, and everybody wasn't a goddamn king or queen, but you had a community. You had something to trace back to. It wasn't slavery, Martin Luther King, Obama.
No, if I really trace back my Black side, like we've traced it back to the Zulu tribe in Africa. Like we've traced it all the way back.
That makes so much sense for you.
We just so aggressive.
What was your great something, like some fucking warlock or some shit?
We got Dr. Apache, Zulu, and then I'm from Louisiana and Okinawa, so you just make that happen in your head. And we're part French. I
need to do some tracing back, because I'm more than positive, and I say this humbly because I know a lot of y'all know me out there that do listen to us consistently. Pretty sure I'm traced back to a queen or something.
I don't even.
I'm just saying.
I don't even hesitate, because
I'm pretty sure there was some royalty somewhere along the line.
Oh, I'm sure.
Maybe if I like concentrate hard enough, I can have one of those dreams.
No, them just pop up like they do in Mulan.
I'd so be ready. Like, please show me, because I want to be some warrior queen or something. God. Like that would be amazing.
That's how I imagine my Okinawan grandmother like watching over me, is how they do in Mulan with her little dragon,
which was so beautiful. Mine would be a tiger though, because
we know. In flames, fire tiger. I'm still mad about that shit.
I am excited. I cannot believe he whipped out. For what we're talking about, if you didn't watch our last episode, just watch the first like 5 minutes. That intro.
They were crazy, and they pissed me off. They're so in sync. It's gross. It's so gross. It's so.
When you called us twin flames, I was like, all of this is perfect.
Like all of it. It's so gross. Jesus Christ.
This is perfect.
But no, for real though. Like I hope that like people like take away from this episode, like really talking to their family and friends about the reality of Thanksgiving, because it's not what it is. It's not what we got taught. Like, I still remember, I got to find this meme and post it. Do you remember that meme? Somebody made a screenshot of the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and
Yes, with the
old
black
boys on the
pumpkin.
one side of the table with
Yeah, I
everybody
was like,
else.
y'all had us fucked up in a goddamn
Dude,
cartoon.
listen, and like, you know, everybody's on Disney Plus right now. If you guys go back and watch Disney through the decades on the Disney Explore page
Get
on
into
Disney
that.
Plus.
Get into this good old racial.
Hey, I was watching one of them and some of the older cartoons on like Prime Video, and I was like, Rob, we can't watch this anymore. And he was like, what? And he looked, he was like, oh, it's basically black facing all the cartoon characters. And I was like, why were we watching this shit?
And I watched so much like old school Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, all that stuff. I wore the Fantasia.
Yes.
VCR tape like out.
Oh, me too.
Like I watched that so much because I liked music. So I know I was into it because of the music. Same. More so than anything else. I was not catching on to, wait a minute. And of course I thought the what are they? Is it Minotaurs or Centaurs? What are they?
Centaurs.
Centaurs? Mm-hmm. So I was wait a minute. We're gonna pause. Difference between a centaur and a minotaur.
I don't know what a minotaur is. Centaur is the one with the horse body and the human body mixed in.
Is it? Well, hold on. Sorry, Triangle. This is what we do.
We're going to look it up right on the spot. But no, while she does that, I really love that too, because I was all about the music.
The minotaur is bullheaded, and then the bottom is...
Yes, okay. Backwards. There we go.
Okay.
Centaur is the one with the human top.
I knew there was a difference.
Minotaurs are creepier to me than centaurs.
Hell yeah, I'm looking at this shit right now. Like, I gotta sleep tonight. Let me get out of this shit. It's like, that nigga was on slow.
That should look more evil to me than centaurs. I mean, both are pretty gross, but
rather centaur. But the girls look so pretty, and I remember them being like, they're different pastel colors. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh yeah, that scene where they're just like women, all the guys come through.
Yeah.
Naked.
I ain't never paid attention. They was naked.
Yeah, they was naked, and like, so that's the thing, right?
Didn't at the end of Fantasia, like the devil came out or some shit?
Yeah, so I don't know. We were talking about it yesterday. Remember I said that I was watching The Goddess of Spring Disney, like 9-minute movie. And so that one's literally the devil and Lilith, like literally.
Bro, how did I not catch it? We were so fucking stupid.
I mean, because we were told not to. It's the same reason why throughout the years magicians have devils in their posters. It's the same devil, by the way. You can look it up. Look at all the posters.
I'm definitely gonna look that shit.
Yeah, that shit is really creepy to me, because my dad, I know this is like, some people be like, oh,
magician posters.
Yeah, we're gonna do an episode on that. And I thought my dad was crazy, because when I told him I wanted to be a magician, he was like, that's of the devil. I was like, now you're just being a black dad. Shut up. Like,
now you're being a black dad.
You know what I mean.
Do it in a heartbeat.
You know what I mean. You seen them fucking TikTok videos where they're like, white people reacting to magicians on the street, black people reacting to magicians.
We freak out. We run.
We freak the hell no. That's the fucking devil.
I will say, you know what I do? I have a fear of clowns. And I do not like magicians. It's crazy.
So like, I have no problem with most magicians. Now,
that's because you're a witch. We've discussed this shit.
I don't know if I'm a witch. I think I'm just a spiritualist, and that I have, like, I think that it's a segue. People think that it's a segue, but I think I do it differently. So, you know, because I mean, that would make all the tribal people in like Africa and all those people witches too. I guess they call them witch doctors in the West Coast, but that's only in the West. In the East, they don't call them that. They're just spiritualists. And I find it different. Look at Brandy about to put her fingers together, be like, they the same thing. Look at her ass.
What am I doing, CJ? What am I doing?
Shut up.
Yeah, it looks like they fit. It looks like it fit.
But you know, it's like, it's so crazy to me. So like those posters from the magicians, they're all the same. They really do.
Okay, Triangle people. I looked up these posters.
They're from different magicians too. They're all the same.
Girl.
Yep, they're all little tiny red devils everywhere on all of them.
Like, I don't know. Is it gonna bring it up?
Yep.
It's like,
see? And that also includes magicians now. So if you look up new magicians now, and it includes other nation magicians, just so you know, like Oh, you should just go to YouTube one day when you're bored and look up some magician shit.
No, YouTube will get me down like a hole.
It's a great rabbit. I went down the rabbit hole. I went down the hole for like 3 days straight. I shit you not.
Listen, you got to do YouTube when you don't have shit to do the next day, because not only are you losing sleep.
Yes.
But you'll just keep clicking. But you're right.
But you know,
it's Houdini, it's everybody.
It's everyone. So
Dante, Europe's a musician. He got 2 devils in him. But you know what? It's some of that from and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you will. Is some of that also from just in general how marketing works? Like you see something somewhere else and they'll just redo the same shit over and over again. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's marketing.
Is that an agenda thing?
I don't think it's that. I really think it's I think it's more closer to a religious thing, and in how Christianity uses the cross. I think it's similar to that. Yeah, which is just as creepy, because the cross was invented later on after the Ankh, which I'm wearing today.
Yeah, there's it. Go ahead.
But the reason we use the cross is because that in the beginning, Christianity actually used the Ankh. They did, but somebody along the line was like, "Oh, we're not going to do this African shit. We're going to use the sword instead and put it in the church." So they used the sword, which is shaped like a cross, and so they got rid of the hoop, because the hoop actually represented fertility, the circle of life, and all the stuff that we still talk about in Christianity.
Isn't that female based too?
Yes, it is. So this is supposed to, the top is supposed to be like your uterus.
So just that alone being female based, you know,
they took it out. They took it out. They took it out. They were like, fuck all of y'all. Just
that shit. Which actually means it's perfect, because even looking at the symbol, you could totally penetrate it with a penis.
Yeah, and so this bottom part is supposed to be the shaft, and these two are supposed to be the offspring. That's what it's supposed to be.
Makes sense.
And they turn, and then when they talk about the circle of life, this is supposed to be, you know, the sun rising, sun setting, the earth, and the underground, and you can use it for all of the narratives, and they just took it out.
I'm really surprised you didn't sing Circle of Life, but I also know you do the editing, girl, so I feel it. I was like, how did she not sing that?
Because I'm tired of putting disclaimers.
She's tired of it.
I mean, it's fun. We haven't been like booted yet, so I guess the disclaimers are working.
Well, yeah, it's working until we get too big. Then they're gonna be like, get them, and then you're talking about, be
especially.
The face of, I'm not the face of shit, because they're gonna be suing my ass.
Hey, Disney will get you. They give you one warning. Baby. One warning. Did you know they go after people who make cookies too? I learned that. You got to get permission from them if you want to use their designs. Like, it's some crazy shit.
I believe they're not paying. Like, the fact that we went to close to them, didn't go like Disney World or whatever. We drove down to Orlando when I lived in Florida. And I promise you, it took like forever today, not because the drive was so long, but just those tolls alone, and you're basically paying with your firstborn and $50 just to get through. I'm like, Mickey Mouse is not playing about shit.
No,
like, they say the devil works hard, Mickey Mouse works hard. They're not playing around.
Disney is wicked. That's why. Did you?
Listen,
I'm gonna send you a picture later. If you take Disney and flip it upside down, it spells wicked.
I've seen it, and I'm good. I've seen that. I've seen the Taco Bell sign. I've seen a whole bunch of shit, which is funny because at one of my jobs, I won't say which one, I was actually looking at symbols and shit with a supervisor, because we got to talking about Epstein and shit, and that's how I knew we were on the same page. So then, like, on my break, we're like practically under his desk looking at shit on phones. Like, yo, did you see this though? It's like, nah, but did you see this? But did you see Denver National Airport? It's like, yeah, I did. But did you see this island that's right outside of DC? Did you see this shit? And so, yeah, we kind of, again, went down a rabbit hole exchanging information, because you do get so excited when you talk to someone.
You do. When people are like, oh, shit, you into this too? Let me just show you what I got, what you got.
The meme I tagged you in when it's like, oh, if anybody says vibes, spiritual, whatever, that's me when I, anytime
just looking around.
Look, 9/11 was an inside job. Up my head up.
Wait, who said that? Who need a conversation?
Come over here. Come sit at our table, new friend.
I'm serious. I mean, because like technically Thanksgiving is a conspiracy too. That's what it is. It's just a way. And look at how far we've gotten.
I'm gonna put that in our little caption thing, by the way.
Yeah, because it is, because
gonna start it off, because that's so true.
I mean, look at how far we've come lining people's pockets with Thanksgiving stuff. You know how much money I spent at the grocery store to make pies this year? Like, I gotta
just think about how much money people spend, and we won't get into it too much because we're gonna obliterate that in December.
Yes, we are.
People spend during Christmas.
Man, you
A
know?
day that's not even fucking Jesus's birthday.
Yeah. And then and Black Friday, what are y'all doing? Everybody losing their mind? Like, I
And
understand
they
getting
added
like,
in the Cyber Monday. I'm like, what? God damn.
dude, here's the thing. It's not even Cyber Monday anymore. It's Cyber Week and also Cyber Month. So some of these companies just was like, fuck it, we're gonna do it all month long. They were like, we like November 1st hit and people were like, Black Friday deals before Black Friday. And I was like,
the last few years, it's like everything's moved up.
uh-huh.
And it's like, what are you? I'm telling you, watch. Next year, we're going to be celebrating Black Friday, July 4th.
Let me tell you. Oh, but we do already though. Prime Day is in July, ain't it?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure it's either June or July.
I never shop on Prime
I
Day.
did. Thank you. I got my copper chef pans this year for a penny.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But here's the thing. So part of the reason I got out of retail was also the holidays, because I started retail many, many, many moons ago. And when I started, we would close Thanksgiving. We would not have Black Friday opening till 6 a.m. It wasn't even midnight. It was 6 a.m. is when we started. And that was early as fuck for us, okay? And slowly it was like midnight. Okay, I can do midnight. And then before I knew it, these last few years, I was leaving my dinner table at 5 p.m. to get to my store at 6 to open up on Thanksgiving Day. No. And I just couldn't. And that wasn't even the worst. Some of my other peers who were in retail from other like companies, they were doing like a 72-hour Thanksgiving sale, which meant from Wednesday to Friday midnight, their store did not close. Not close. So they hired on extra people and they had a 24-hour shift going for 3 days straight. And it's not like they closed down on Saturday, because that Saturday is the day after Black Friday.
And you sure are right, because you gotta stay open. I've never.
And they just kept going, dude. And then I was a store manager and I opened stores and did things like that. So since I was on the higher up end, like I would have to work Thanksgiving, sleep for a few hours, and come back for Black Friday. Girl, because like I had to work the busiest shift on Black Friday and I had to work the shift on Thanksgiving Day. And like I can say it now because I don't work there anymore. I should you not, I put a wine glass down and I was like, I guess I'm going. See you guys there. Let me get some gum in my mouth so I don't smell like wine. And I really just did not give a fuck that day because I was so pissed off.
It's exhausting when you're doing retail, because I almost feel like it is modern day slavery for the first world country.
It really is.
Because they will like work you to the bone no matter how much they pay you. Yeah. They're expecting you to show up, and not just show up, but don't you dare show up being tired, having family issues. No. You're here to basically be like a Stepford wife of retail.
Oh, absolutely.
And just make these people happy and make them forget about their problems and stuff. And I believe in high quality customer service. I do. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that should come at the expense of the damn person who is giving said service. Like, I'm still human. So no, I'm not going to completely treat you like shit, but also I'm not a slave. Like, I feel like energetically, I got to remind people that the lounge I work at, because it's like, baby girl, baby boy, I'm paid to seat you, clean this table, get you your drinks. I get that. Mm-hmm. However, no.
Yeah, so that's the thing. People, like, you're not going to get that.
I check people so quick, but that's also why I don't have to dress the way I do for where I work, because those that like follow me and stuff, you see every weekend before I go to work, I'm super.
Yes, Miss Brandy just killing it.
I turn looks, honey. I turn looks. Not how you see me right now. Definitely be catfishing Monday through Friday.
No.
But I dress like that because it invokes a certain amount, as long as somebody's not too drunk or they're not an asshole. 90% of the people I deal with, they almost treat me and haven't even asked me, do I own the place or am I co-owner or whatever, because of how I am dressed. Right. I'll still serve you and be dressed like this because it changes how you treat me.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. It's like and it's unfair, but it's crazy. True. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to dress like a typical server or whoever, where they'll have their jeans on, black jeans, or a button-up shirt, just something they don't mind getting fucked up, whatever. I'll dress like I'm going on a date, and I'll still clear this table and stuff, because you do treat me different. And I notice the more dressed up I am, the better I am treated.
Oh, of
That way
course.
I don't have to cuss nobody out of the job. Because I'm like, I need this job, but I don't need this job.
Right. And that's how I felt about like a lot of the retail stuff. And here's the thing, because this episode is dropping right on Thursday on Thanksgiving, and hopefully you guys are just kicking in. You got bored and got in on this or
Right.
whatever. If you do go out to shop for Thanksgiving Day or Black Friday or the rest of the weekend, please don't be talking to the cash register people talking about, oh, it must suck having to work on Thanksgiving. Oh, are you guys
Which
going
one of your
shopping
shit?
Thanksgiving? Like, I can't believe you guys are open on Thanksgiving. Niggas, you guys got there. The reason why these stores keep opening is because y'all keep shopping on
Amen.
Thanksgiving and on Black Friday.
Amen.
Like, if you got a problem and you were like, oh, why are you guys open? Stop going. Just stop going. Boycott.
Or
Just do that one day.
complaining about like how many registers open, how fast you're going. I had a
Yeah.
girl
Yes.
at a store that we stopped by before coming to here. And because I'm so used to working different jobs over the years, ever since I really started working, when you have a resume that spans from like a bridal shop to McDonald's to a furniture store to the places I'm at now, because I'm not putting all my jobs out there, but extensive resume, right? So I'm used to dealing with different levels of people, and just sometimes nobody treats you worse than when you're in any type of service industry that does, like you said, mimic the retail or food and drink. They just try to come at you like they own you. So this girl's gonna tell me that so I'll come in and bullshit with them because I know what it's like.
Yeah.
And she said she was happy to laugh and stuff with me, and she's like, this guy came in earlier and he ended up talking to my manager because he felt like I was giving him attitude because I wasn't making eye contact. And I'm thinking, if you're trying to enter an order in fast, your face is down in that fucking keyboard on the cashier machine, and you're typing.
So crazy.
And the guy, and she was a young girl, so I felt that you could tell it's probably her first job or some shit.
Right.
And because I think here you can work at 14 or 15.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I cannot imagine. So she's like, yeah, he was like 6 foot or something. So when I looked up to look at him, he said, I rolled my eyes, but she's like, I'm short. I'm looking up to look at you. I cannot imagine some big tall nigga looking down at this girl. And when I say niggas, sometimes for those who listening, that does include white niggas, Asian niggas. Like that's all inclusive when I say that. Because she said the guy.
We mean person sometimes when we use the word nigga.
Yeah, I do. Just to be clear. But I just can't imagine some man talking down to any woman like that, right?
Right.
Let alone someone who's significantly smaller than you, because this girl was tiny, short wise, and like, mashed, tiny. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with him?
Something wrong with him. He insecure.
Isn't that crazy? He said he tapped on the counter talking about, hey, I said eye contact, my nigga.
Oh, you ain't about to talk to my ass like that.
Bitch. When I tell you it went down.
Listen, I've walked in on one of my employees at one of my stores where this guy was yelling at her at the counter, and I was coming in from my shift. And I was like, excuse me, is there a problem? Well, she won't give me a return. I was like, so what? It's from like 3 months ago. That right there, because our return policy is 60 days, my nigga. And you didn't miss it by 1 or 2 days. You said 3 months ago, a friend, and you mad at her for following the fucking policy? And that's another thing. Let me tell y'all something. Most of the managers, because I was in management position all my life. I don't know if you can tell.
Right, she's still a manager. What's she talking about?
But if you come at their employees, most good managers will back them up, okay? I say good because not all managers are built equally, but most good managers will back them up. You will not get your way. You might call corporate. Nobody's losing their job. Don't threaten them. You know what they do when you threaten people for their job? They laugh at you when you leave.
Listen,
nobody is going to lose their job. Don't think you're doing anything with that shit. Do you know how many reports I've gotten over the years because I had to stand my ground because some crazy fool thought they wanted to get their own fucking way? No, man. Like, oh, my name is CJ.
Oh my God, the name.
Let me get your name. My name is CJ. Go ahead.
Why do they think that's going to make a difference? I'm like, make sure you put a smiley face above the I when you spell Brandy, because it don't matter about my name. I said what I fucking said.
I don't even give a fuck. I was like, and
that shit is crazy.
And so, like, I still remember I got into it with a customer and I was like, lady, listen, I don't know what you want from me, but I can't approve this. There's no way. I'm telling you right now that I can like talk to somebody else and maybe we can make something happen. And then she lost it. I was like, I didn't even wait for her to ask. I said, here's my name. Here's corporate's number. Go on and call him because I'm through with you.
I was happy.
It was like, I'm going to have your job. But, bitch, no, you're not. You're really not.
I'm happy when I
people over shit like this.
That you handle stuff like that as a manager and that it happens like that, because I had an incident at the bar where I wasn't sure, and that was when I first got there, and I wasn't sure how the second in command was going to handle it. So when she said she had to talk to me, I was going to say, Lord, it's about to be a talk about me having to not be like A, B, and C because this group of white people like, I spent this much money and blah, blah, blah.
I hate that. And quit telling people that too. We don't give a fuck. You one out of thousands of people. You dropped $500 today. Do you know who else dropped $500? The nigga before you. That's
right. Oh, or the people that bought the bar last week. But
you know,
what's up? I'm like, they ain't hurting. Especially when you work for places where you know we're not hurting for the money. Like, we'll take our business elsewhere.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Like, that's not going to do anything to us, but all right then. I'm like, and that's always from a certain demographic. I'm like, I think y'all grew up in that age where the customer was always right. And it didn't matter what you said. And you could be like, I want little Jimmy fired because I don't like that. And Jimmy would be fired that day. This shit ain't that goddamn more.
It's almost damn near 2020. Let's get on. Come on.
This is not happening no more. So it don't matter. You asked about our names and nothing. So long story short, because now we gave you Thanksgiving tidbits. Now we're giving you some Black Friday knowledge. Don't be out there being assholes. We don't give a fuck about the fact that we working on these days where y'all get to comfortably shop around and shit.
Right.
Just buy your shit and go. If you say anything to us that's nice, just, be nice. That's it. Like, I hope you're having a good day. It's way better than how's your day going.
Yeah.
Fuck. I hate it.
Stop asking retail people how's your day going. I hate that shit.
You know what I started to do? Because I'm a bitch. I've been like, so we want real shit or do you want the fake shit? I can do real shit. Like, I haven't had sex in over a year.
Do you want the truth or not?
Right. I'm horny. I'm upset. Struggling helping my son with his math because I'm not as smart as I used to be. My open school sucks.
But that's the thing. Like, they don't.
Like, you really want the real shit? You don't. And
they really don't.
It's like, it's almost like I want to say it that way just to let them know, like, you're robotic and you're faux caring. It's not. You're just regurgitating what you feel like you should be saying, and you don't have to.
It's just like,
I prefer you not to talk sometimes.
I just realized that, like, the people who are out there doing all this is just like, they don't care about other people. That's what it is. And I'm not saying don't go shop. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, like, be a human, be kind to other people, like, especially during the holidays. Like, retail workers are stressed. And here's another thing, and I have to tell myself to remember too. Most of the stores that have people who are lost is because they are hiring holiday help. And holiday help have no idea what the fuck is going on. They are just there as a person, a body to try and, like, I don't know, do something with the crowd that's coming in.
They're fillers.
They're just fillers. Do not go yelling at these fucking teenagers, because that's what most of them are, or older gents and ladies, because that's what most of them are. Because whenever I had to holiday hire, like, sometimes we got desperate. I've hired some terrible holiday help. I had hired one person out of desperation, and I was like, you know what? I have made a grave mistake. I had to fire her in 3 hours. Like, it's happened. And so these people are not they're not the usual crew that you see in Target. Those holiday help Target people will not know where that fucking toy is. They're not going to know where the organic grape is. They're going to look at you and be like, I'm not sure, you'll have to go to that department, because they don't know better. Because most people who already work retail will be like, let me find somebody to help you find that in that department. So if that doesn't roll off their tongue, that means they're holiday hired. They don't know. Just move on. Just move on. You're going to cause yourself some stress and strain, heart attacks, strokes. You don't want none of that.
Again,
you're already stressed.
Smart fucking mouth, because I'll tell you one thing. Working where I work now in the jobs I do, and because I'm Jamaican, for those that didn't know. So the jobs I work now, and then remembering all the shit from retail and fast food, y'all better watch y'all fucking mouths, because food industry and drink industry, them kitchens and how shit really go down is the worst. I have just seen it. And then with retail and other things that involve y'all money for real, I have done shit that I was not supposed to do, where people weren't covered under certain warranties. They were out of the paperwork guarantees, all that shit, right? But because you came at me respectful,
oh,
I've
absolutely,
been like, oh, let me just send this, or let me.
absolutely.
Now all of a sudden, you don't have to pay for expedited
You catch
shipping
more flies with
because
honey, baby.
every time. But as soon as you come through and you're an asshole, all of a sudden, when you're asking, is there any way I can get it faster? Yeah, pay fucking money to get it
Yeah,
faster. That's what you can do.
You can do that.
You can do that. Or I'm a stickler for it. I've had somebody be like, God, I'm a bitch.
Oh Lord.
I've had somebody be like, well, if it's 5 years, my 5 years was up just last week. Gotta be quicker than that.
No, not gotta be quick. Listen, I had to start teaching my girls at some of my locations. I was like, you know what? When the customers are like, do you have, because I don't know what customers think are in the back room, because the back room houses nothing.
Yes.
Or see, look at Brandy laughing. The back room, unless you are Walmart or Target or some big chain box chain store.
They think the back room is like some farmer's market.
Nigga, do they think that we open a fucking closet door to Narnia? Like, it's not, there's nothing there. No, like, I'm telling you, when they're like, the only thing we keep back there, especially boutique stores and smaller stores, are shoes, because we put one on display, so we have the shoe sizes. And even then, we only get like 10 pairs, 15 pairs of one style of shoes. So yes, there's only one size 11 and one size 10. Everything else is two a piece on all the other sizes, if that. And if you're like, oh, there's already like 8 shirts here, but you don't have another large in the back, we don't. But since you want to get upset, I'm gonna take my time and go get a cigarette, since I'm gonna go to the back.
Right.
Round. Like,
done that before too. Like, oh, let me go check. Ain't shit there, but I ain't.
Listen. That's when I used to smoke. I don't smoke anymore. But I really was like telling the girls, because they would like get so upset. But we know that we don't have them. That's all right. Just go back there. Go get you your drink, sip on your juice, eat a cracker, cookie, whatever. Like, take a good minute back there.
And I'll never ask somebody to go in the back and look. I have like waited when they said they were gonna go do it, because I was obsessed with trying to find this red called Cranberry. I forget who makes it. It's not Urban Decay. It's somebody else, but I'm like, oh my God, every time I would go into Ulta, it would be gone. So I'm like, I'm really trying to get this Cranberry. And it was funny because the girl recognized me coming in all the time because it was close by me. And she's like, I know this is like your 3rd time in here this week. And I'm like, are you judging? And, no. And she's like, I'll go in the back and look. When you go above and beyond like that, and you don't have to.
Absolutely.
But I'll never be like, this is my 3rd time in here this week and it's still not here. Like, I'll just come back later.
You know what?
I'm not crazy.
I love most of my Ulta places too, because they're actually like pretty legit. Like, they've actually walked back there and brought product out for me on more than one occasion. More than one. So I know that they actually have those carts, because you know, retail people notice things, and I know when they stock at my local store. I know when they get their shipment in and shit like that. So I go on certain days.
That too, like the Burlington, I love going to. I am a part of the Bigfoot Mafia, so when you find cute shoes that are size 11s, you got to take them bitches. So they were like, hey, when we get in shoes and stuff, they said it just like you said. They're like, we'll have maybe 1-2 pairs of 11.
Yep, that's it.
All the shipments coming at Tuesday at 9 a.m. And I'm just like typing everything in my phone, saving it, like, thank you, child. Like, thank you so much. Because you didn't have to tell me all that, but it helps me out. So it's just nice when you're not being a dick. You get great customer service. And we know there's some people out there that are like, they give shitty customer service. But for the most part, it's like, we'll give you the energy that you're giving us.
That's what people don't understand, right? Just because we, like, somebody else is paying our bills, you not. We just here to help you. Like, we trying to help you find stuff. Like, you about to pay the company's bill, not mine. Like, it's coming out of the company. Like, the company don't give a shit if you spend your little $300 or not.
No.
Like, they really don't. Like,
and then here's another tidbit. Y'all threatening all the time to write on social media about shit. Now, listen, I know that's the equivalent of the old school of, I'm gonna write a letter and let me speak to your manager.
Right.
But again, unless you're like a huge chain, let's say of like hotels that decide no longer will you have my business because blah blah blah, that would be devastating.
A contract of several million.
A contract of certain figures, yes.
Right.
But little Betty Sue from Arkansas, baby, no, we don't fucking care. You probably don't even know how to work fucking Twitter. We don't fucking care. You're not going to get on and say shit, and the little bit that you do, it'll, trust me, it's not going to get seen like that. It's not. I had someone complain about me on Twitter one time. It was quite great. Because what they said was accurate, but I just thought it was funny that they complained about.
You know what happened to me once? Me and a couple of my new crew, like my old crew quit because the old boss to them left and they didn't want me there. So they went and wrote negative reviews. Like the old crew went and wrote negative reviews on somebody who's been there for a week in the store. So that they never really worked with. Girl, so this is why social media doesn't work, because the company actually investigates, and then they were like, hey, aren't these girls who worked here? Yep, they just quit 3 days ago. And they're writing reviews about you? Yeah, I don't understand either. So you're going to have to. So what they did was they ended up responding and then taking it down because it wasn't anything with a basis. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
That's
if you
so
do,
ridiculous.
the only thing I think that affects companies or businesses in any way is if you go the racial route. If somebody in the service industry, like, racially profiles you or something like that, I understand why that becomes a big deal. But when it comes to like, oh, she didn't go to the back to look for these shoes, get out of here. Like, I'm telling you that person working that shift has probably gone back to the back like 5 times already and knows exactly what's back there because it's Black Friday.
But
Like,
you don't know shit.
when somebody's like, I don't think we have any more of those. Or if somebody says, I sold the last one an hour ago, believe them. They're trying to help you out. When they're like, do you want me to order you one? Believe them. They don't have any in the back. Nigga, like, they don't. It's not Narnia. I can't stress that enough. It's not Narnia.
And it's like, we say this from years of experience of having hundreds of people over and over again say the same shit.
Every day.
So it's not like 1 or 2 people out of like 6 years of customer service.
No.
We're talking thousands of you motherfuckers saying the same shit.
And just for reference sake, I have been in retail till I quit recently for 17 years. I'm not playing around. Like, when I say what I'm saying it like Nene Leaks. I said what I said. I'm not just making this shit up. I've been a supervisor, management position since I was 17, and then I spent 17 years in retail straight across the board. Now you can figure out about how old I am. Yeah.
Now, if you do the math, now is it that new math where I got to show all my work?
Oh my God, with 10 steps to get to 3 numbers? No, ma'am.
Baby, I fucked PJ all up one time because I taught him in a way that I wasn't supposed to. I was like, well, just do this and that and you're done faster. And he's done faster.
They don't want that.
Right. And it was all messed up. And the teacher was like, nope, this is wrong. Like, he had like a 60 on it or something. I was like, why did he get this? And technically the answers are right. And all this shit in red was like, show the work like this. And she did an example. And I'm like, this is bullshit.
So if your brain worked better, see, that's another thing. That's just like going back to how schools try to keep you down. Your brain work too fast, they're going to shut that shit down. They want you to do it the same way everybody else does it.
Yeah.
Because I can math in my fucking brain super fast, but I got points deducted. I'm mad as hell. Because my mom learned math differently than I did in school also. And she was the person who helped me with my homework all the time. So I did it differently. They weren't having it. And this is before this whole math thing too. They still didn't want to count that. And I was like, so I did it in 3 steps instead of 6. Like half, because I can do the rest of my head. Like, you want to accept it? Well, I can't see that you did all that work. But you can see that the answer is still negative 15. I don't understand.
That's why
I don't understand.
For them to be like, do you know there's some gifted people that can just figure this shit out in their head, and it's harder for them to explain how they figured it.
I can't.
I'm like, we got some Rain Man like people out there, and then there goes my age for those that actually get that fucking reference.
Like,
so
today.
I'm like, we have those people out there like that. So it's sad that we don't have something that's more equal across the board, education-wise, that can cater to people that think in a more creative way, or those that think in a more linear way, or whatever.
Also,
if you're wanting to create a society of capable, smart, whatever people, that's what you would think.
Like, they have those AP classes, but that's really not doing it either. And the gifted classes, I was in gifted and talented classes, the tag classes. Is that what they talented and gifted? That's what it calls, right? Tag.
I wouldn't know because I wasn't tagged. You're it.
No, they put us in those classes, so they did a lot of creative work, but it wasn't what I would think would be necessary for that. They put me in all kinds of shit, but I mean, now I have anxiety because I got to perform.
Like, that just explains so much.
So much.
Explains so much. Well, I want to thank y'all for coming on this journey, because now I can write a nice little blurb about.
I like it. We went from Thanksgiving to Black Friday. I think that was necessary.
We covered bases.
Yes.
Hey, virtual high five.
Hey.
That'll be our thing. So when D comes back and I'm not calling with him, he's gonna be like, "What the fuck happened?"
You missed one episode, D. Now you are no longer the tiger.
No longer the eye of the tigers, man. Eye of the tigers.
He's gonna be so sad. I hope he come back next week. I hope he don't like have any fucking ruckus happening at work.
Wow, these holidays are about to be rough.
Just I feel real bad for him, because
good vibes for D, because
I run my own business, so I have my own clients and I don't have to deal with that shit no more. All my clients are perfect and amazing, and they're so caring and just awesome.
Because they want them cookies right.
I mean, dude, I'm about to do 300 cookies for one person here in a couple of weeks.
You mean me?
No. Wait a minute now.
That was actually my order.
No. It's a big.
It's
and then
for Dan and I's baby shower.
Wait, first of all,
the cookies. 150 pink, 150 blue.
Is it a gender reveal? Is that?
Well, no, because like my son said, the gender and color thing isn't the same, so it doesn't matter.
Oh my god, I can't.
So we throw it all together, or you do like we'll do orange and yellow cookies.
Oh, gender neutral colors.
Gender neutral, so people can shut the fuck up.
Oh my god, I can't. I fucking can't. I'm so tired of that PC crap. I can't.
I really hate it.
I'm just.
But that's a whole other conversation we get into.
Like, it is. But we should probably wrap it up. We were gonna keep this real short, but we went in.
Per usual. So as you can see, you know who the talkers are of the show for real. If this was just me or D and CJ, I highly doubt.
It wouldn't be. Just because D talks with his face.
Definitely talks with that face.
He does. But anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this episode on Thanksgiving / we walked into Black Friday.
We definitely
walked into Black Friday. I hope you guys, if you have any comments or questions, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, or even the YouTube. We respond to all of them.
Did you say the YouTube?
The YouTube. Yes, I did.
God,
YouTube.
Why are you being that old person? The YouTube.
Are you calling me old? I can't.
No, why are you being that old person?
Okay.
Don't do that.
But also, if you guys are listening to this, if you are not on YouTube, you should subscribe, because once we get to a certain amount, we can do like crazy ass awesome things. Also, I think I'm gonna leave this Anchor link at the bottom of all of our stuff. If you guys feeling kind of charitable and want to support us get better shit so we have better audio and stuff, there is a support link that you can do, like a monthly $1 fee or $2 or whatever you fucking feel like doing. If you want to do a one-time sum, that's cool too. I feel like we can use some new shit for Brandy and D to get some better audio and stuff. I already have my shit. I just want to work on them. Maybe we'll paste Brandy's beautiful face everywhere for people to see. We're gonna do all of that.
Yeah, use a picture where I'm real dressed up, but it's like, this is what you're paying for.
Yes. So I mean, so even if you just click on all of our podcasts on all the platforms, that actually brings us ad money a little bit, because we actually pay for the platforms that we're using. We're not like doing it for free or anything. Like Zoom does cost like monthly fees and stuff, and I'm not trying to get technical or anything, but if you feel it on your heart, like the Lord set you free and was like, give them $1, nigga.
Okay,
go right ahead. I'll put the link on all the things. I might do a link tree for our IG and Facebook, so people have all the links of our podcast.
And we can do it kind of like a gift thing, like the gift that keeps on giving, the triangle.
It keeps giving, the triangle, indeed. So if you are listening for the first time, or you just love us anyway, make sure you're subscribed to any of your favorite podcast platforms. If you're watching us on YouTube and missing D, I'm sorry, go ahead and hit that like button, that bell, so you get your notification. Comment and like. please like them. That'll give us more opportunities to show up on other people's shit so they can gut on us too.
And then give us reviews, good, bad, and ugly. What you like, what you hate.
I love reviews. I don't even care if it's negative because we need to know if we're fucking up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. If there's something across the board, like 9 out of 10 of y'all is like, nah, I don't like that shit. Brandy's mic is back. CJ's gonna buy me a new mic. So we're gonna get this figured out. Next week, we I think that's starting
our fan pick.
Our fan pick. So we're doing it again. We're actually gonna have one of the fans on. We're going to invite one of you guys each month. We'll take turns from different people we know, people we don't know as well, just whoever that we all agree, because we do make sure it's something all three of us agree. Yeah, and it's not, we don't pick favorites, it's nothing like that. We're just picking who makes sense for what fan pick questions that we get. So we're definitely excited about this, and our first episode of doing that will be next week. So we'll put more stuff on our Facebook and IG of who will be on. We'll have little bios. Who the fuck was that? Was that my girl Heather? Heather's fucking crazy. CJ's daughter.
Sorry, she's saying good night.
There she is.
Good night, Mom.
Good night.
Good night, baby. Okay, go. I'm still recording. Go. Goodbye. Sorry, guys.
Did she say Sissy?
Yeah, Sissy's back there somewhere.
I still can't believe she scared the fuck out of me for that.
Oh my God, that shit was funny. I'm going to clip that, post it somewhere. I am. But no, for real though, like we really would like some info back and like feedback because that's the only way we'll grow too and become better and become the things that you want us to be so that we can entertain you like Michael Jackson.
And just not touching your kids.
No,
just kidding.
No, I meant like in the pyramid.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I hate you so much. But our new episodes drop every Thursday on News Central. So check us out every week. If you haven't listened to any of our other episodes, this is episode 20, I think.
I can't believe us. Look at us.
Oh my God. Seriously.
Not me.
And to all of those guys who are like fucking with us all through all these episodes, thank you, because I see y'all.
Y'all are so real.
We see y'all.
So dope for listening to our bullshit.
Yes. Our shenanigans. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry.
But on that note, y'all have a blessed day. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Shopping Friday. Go do your thing. Have some pie. Eat your food. Have fun.
Don't feel bad about it.
No, do your thing. It's all good.
Bye, guys.
Bye.